You better get that through your head, because I don't know if I should really tell you this, especially online. People who say they will never get watched by the government, people who say they will never be the ones under government mind control, they're the ones that are the target of those programs. The people that act like sheep don't need any government attention because they're going to go around with the flock. The government fears that one sheep that's going to go run off. Like, you know that saying in the Bible that says, God will leave the flock of sheep for that one? The government has that same mindset. They will leave the herd that they know will fall in line to go after that one dissident, that one person who gives them problems. That's just some facts. I don't know how else to say it. That's some facts. You better get that through your head, man, okay? You better get that through your head, because I don't know if I should really tell you this, especially online, but I know how to stop the government from being able to control you, and you can look like you're a member of the flock, and you can convert others in the flock, and then you can attack the shepherd and be free and run wherever you want to go run. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. You just got to watch the rest of this video. Keep watching. Okay, I'm going to get into it, okay? You see this right here? What am I doing? I'm creating a disturbance.
I felt a great disturbance in the force.
Creating a disturbance to those government agents, okay? But don't want to create too much of a disturbance, okay? Since, like, if a government agent's like, hey, what do you think about all these crazy mind control conspiracy theories? You should say, well, you know, we can't know everything, but I trust the government. Get them to think you're on their side, you know what I mean? Get them to think that you're one of them. You're a loyal member of the flock. You're a sheep that's not going to go run off. You're not that one sheep that's going to run off. Since they can handle one sheep running off, the government can handle a few dissidents, okay? Like there's a saying in dictatorships. One person that has a problem gets killed. But if everybody has a problem, the dictator gets killed. I just made that up, but it's true. But I know what you're asking. What the heck is this kid talking about? How? Mind control? What is that? So I'm going to tell you what it is. The news!
Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
The news! They give you a narrative, and then they push it down. They push it down. See, the government just did that. They adjusted the phone. They adjusted the phone. They're trying to have you not watch me. Media pushes a narrative, right? They're like, blah, 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 blah. People are crazy for thinking the government watches them. Push some narrative like that. And then if you disagree publicly, you're a dissident and there's a problem with you. But I know I said that you have to act like you're in the flock. But if you act like you're in the flock where people aren't doing anything, how do you get attention? How do you get people to believe you? Get it through comedy. Be like me, say a bunch of crazy things that people at first think is funny. But that's kind of like a Trojan horse. It'll get into their head, and then that idea will grow and grow and grow. And then all they'll be doing is thinking about my videos, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, wow. And yeah, that's how it's going to work. That's how things change. Don't fight a war. Learn something from the Greeks. They fought this war for like 10 years, okay? Against the Trojans. And they're like, we can't win. 10 years fighting, no one's really getting anything done. But then what do? They surrender. They surrender to the authority. Surrender to the government. But leave that Trojan horse like as a gift, like as a gift of your repentance, as a gift of the problems that you caused them, and make them be like, oh my goodness, wow, thank you, thank you. They give you a big hug, and then they let in the Trojan horse. And they're like, wow, this looks so nice, this looks so nice. And then they throw a giant party, and they're like, woo, woo, party, party. But then when nighttime comes, you and your true believing, factual checking conspirators leave the Trojan horse and slaughter them all and take back the town. That's what they did in the Trojan horse. They retook Troy. That's how they did it. Trojan horse, get the name. They all left out. They all killed the enemy, and then it was their town. They won the war. But don't actually kill them all, because like that would be bad. That'd be bad. But like kill them all with like your facts, dog. That's how you kill them, with the facts. You kill them with the facts. Then you count up them stacks, and you say, get out of here. That's how you beat the government. You beat the government by being a loyal dissident, and do it through comedy. Do it through comedy. Like, hint at it. Like, oh yeah, the government's watching me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and every person that talks to me is a government agent. Say crazy things like that, but like laugh at the end like it's funny, like it's not true. And then when it's and then when they get comfortable with you, you slowly adjust to the new reality, right? Like I learned from high school. You don't, honestly, if you're pause the, no, don't actually pause the video, but pause what I'm saying. If you're ever in an argument with somebody, right? Like let's say they're the best in the world at arguing their side, and you're just some random kid that's terrified of them. You can get beaten, I guess, in an argument, but you can't lose as long as you don't submit, right? So if they make a great point, like a great point that absolutely kills your argument, like it's like stabbing it 55 times and your argument's dead, be like, that's ridiculous. You don't know what you're talking about. And then just talk about whatever you're going to talk about, okay? That's how you don't lose arguments. Like I did that in high school. Like the world is actually flat. But I did that in high school, and a lot of people think the world's round, right? And all I did, they would make great points. I mean, like, not really. But I'd be like, that's crazy. And then I just talked about what I'm going to talk about. It's like politicians. You ever ask a politician a question? They're not going to answer your question exactly because your question is entrapping them in what you want to ask them.
Can any illegal immigrant become legal in the United States without first going home?
All right, so what's the answer?
Well, the answer is threefold.
Can anyone become legal who's here illegally without first going home? Senator, I understand
What do we
this,
say to them?
but I
Come
still
illegally?
think I'm not able to get a definitive answer from you, which is, can anyone become legal without first going home? This is going to be the brass tacks question here when you get to immigration reform.
Yeah, but again, the answer to that question depends on the environment in which it's being answered.
So what you do is say, oh yeah, that's a great point, and then talk about, like if they ask you about guns, what do you think about the excess of guns in the United States, Mr. McDowell? Well, let me tell you, that's a great point, but let's talk about your healthcare. Your healthcare system's flawed. That's what you do. That's what politicians do. They never answer the question. So that's what you got to do in an argument. Never, ever, ever answer the question they're giving you. Or if you're in a job interview and they ask you something that you don't know what it is, don't directly answer what you don't know. Escape. Escape.
Escape. I wonder what that means. It's funny. It's spelled just like the word escape.
I'm telling you, it's like with the news too. You see it on news, like they want to push a narrative. Don't get captured in the narrative. Don't get kidnapped in the arms of big government. Don't answer the question. Talk about what you want to talk about, okay? By being that crazy person, okay? Since crazy people aren't threatening, just like a Trojan horse didn't look like the end of the world for the Trojans. Like, I highly doubt there was one Trojan in the city that saw the Trojan horse and they're like, we're done. We're done. No, not one of them did. They all thought that the Greeks submitted to them. They all thought that it was over. They all thought that the war's done. The Greeks lost. They're going back home. And what they didn't know is the Greeks thought bigger. And if we want to beat the government, we have to think bigger. If we want to escape mind control, we have to think bigger. We have to look like we submit. But when we give them that gift is their Trojan horse. It is the end of mind control when we use the Trojan horse. And then we kill the shepherd and the sheeps run free across the countryside to think what they want. Woo! That's what you gotta do. Don't let some government mind control person on the news control your mind. Think for yourself and then make your own Trojan horse.